Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to Jesse's Garage. We're excited to have you, as we always are, so thank you so much for stopping by. Well, today, we're coming at you with another tool haul video. Now, you can tell that I got my black gloves on, so you know what that means. It's rusty gold time. So let me tell you about this story. So I went through and responded to a Facebook Marketplace ad, and the gentleman had a box on there, and it had a bunch of, said Giller on the box, and it had a bunch of different pieces in there. Well, I knew most of it was probably Giller, but probably not all of it. But anyway, so I asked her, I said, well, are those some of those Giller ratchets? And she said, yes. I said, okay. And I said, they were wanting, let's see here, $50. I offered 40 if they would take that in. So she said, yes, that'll be fine. And I said, okay. I said, I'll be right down. And so I started off that way. And when I got out of the truck, a gentleman comes out to the truck and he goes, man, I am so sorry, but my wife told you that it was a bunch of Giller, and there is a fair amount of Giller, mainly the sockets. He said, but the ratchets are not. I said, oh man. I said, I was really hoping that it was all going to be the majority Giller. He goes, yeah, I know it. I'm so sorry she told you that. And I said, well, can I take a look at it anyways, just to see what you have? He goes, yeah. And so he said, you know what, in fact, I feel so bad about it, I'll take off another $10. So I'll let you have it for 30 bucks. And I said, okay. I said, I don't know if I'm going to take it, but let's take a look. And so we did. Now, I went through and I took a look at it, and then there's another part of the story that I'll tell you midway through when we're looking at the tools to kind of give you an idea how awesome this gentleman was to work with here. But anyways, are you ready to take a look at our haul? So far, because we got two different sections here, so far we got $30 in that first one. So I paid up a little bit with the gamble, but I'll tell you what that gamble is in just a moment. Let's get the camera turned around and let's see what we got. All right, here we go. Okay, so we are back, and so here's our box that we got here. So it's a Giller box, as you can see. It says Giller right on the front here, Giller Tool Company, Dallas, Texas is what it says on the box here. So the box is all scratched up, you know, it has a few little minor areas, and I thought, you know what, I can fix that. I don't remember them being orange though. I always thought Giller was kind of a lighter, medium blue type color. But anyways, I thought this was kind of interesting. And I thought, well, you know what, let me go take a look at it. So we'll flip the latch open that way, and then let's kind of dive in and let's see what we got here. So as we're going inside here, I knew that all of it, because they only had one picture, they didn't have multiple pictures. I knew one of it was not a Giller, and it was this one here that I seen, which I don't need another breaker bar, but it's a double line V, pretty dirty, and so the swivel portion of this works really well, and so this will clean right up, I believe. It may not be perfect. It looks like it has some marks where it's pretty indented, but we'll clean that up. And so anyways, from there, this is where I thought that I would go through and score on this. But one of the other ones that I don't need is a Diamond Logo SK half-inch ratchet. But I will say that the knurling on this looks really well. And so if you take a look at that, that's just pretty neat in it. And so that's cool. And so it works really well as well. So there's nothing wrong with that. As far as the mechanism, let's see here. Yep, works good in both directions. So we scored that. So far we got two. Now let me show you what this one is here. So this is an old Montgomery Ward's ratchet. And so you can see at the bottom here, it says Ward's Master Quality. And so that is cool in itself, because I have a Ward's collection going on here. So I thought, man, that's a great find. It's kind of crunchy as far as loud, clunky, I guess I should say. But it works. It works great. And this sucker will clean up easy peasy for us. So that's another nice find that we have here. And so with this ratchet, I did not have it in my collection. So I love that. And then they had another one, which I do not have in my collection either. And so I have some ratchets that are this style here. But you'll notice this one is a New Britain. And so the brand New Britain on there. Now, New Britain, they made a lot of different tools, and that's even some of the other ones that I have. that look just like this, like the old Craftsman and the old Husky. If I'm not mistaken, I think New Britain probably made those. And so the same kind of lever that's right here that goes back and forth. I think I need to work on it because it's pretty dirty down deep inside there, so it's not moving back and forth and sticking like it's supposed to, so it's kind of stuck in place. Well, but that's easy. We can take this apart. The mechanism on this is super easy to work on, but the knurling on here looks really good. That'll polish right up, and I'm kind of looking right along the side here, and I don't see that there's a bunch of indentions there. Now you can see we've got a bunch of surface rust. Oh, there is some right here. I just now noticed. So it's not perfect, but my goodness, I love that. And the New Britain, I do not have the New Britain in my collection. So that'll be this style anyways. So that'll be something that we're going to add there. So from there, looks like we have a little swivel socket on here. And so this one was a plum. Can you believe that? And so, I'm plumb crazy about plum. And so I thought, wow, okay, that's cool. I love that. Let the adventures continue. Let's see what else we have here. And so as we're looking here, we have some fleet. Well, I collect some fleet, right? And so this is a 9/16, kind of crunchy, kind of dirty a little bit, but nevertheless, we have that there. So we'll put that there. And then now notice this logo here. So it's a 6-point and it's a 1/2 inch. And so, but with this logo, I believe that's a Hinsdale logo that we have there. And so, so that is cool. 25-30 seconds. So that is nice. Let's see what else we have here, because it's just a mixture on some of the stuff. Now this is actually a Giller, so that's cool. We got a couple drag link sockets here. And so let's see here, this is a Giller, I believe, yep. So we have that. And then this one here is a Giller as well. So we got two different sizes of those. And then as we come through here, another Giller. So we're starting to form a set, right? 13/16 Giller that way. Let's see here. And this is really what I was after, is the Giller, just to kind of complete my set that I have. Now this one I haven't taken a look at, so I don't know what it is. But as we get going, I don't see any markings on it. Maybe I see something maybe there. It'll come to light here as we get going here. So this is a 12-point as well, but it has that, the knurling down at the bottom there. So we'll have to look and see what that's about. All right, so this is probably a Giller. Yep, so it's a Giller. And so we have 1 1/8 is what this looks like here. So that's cool. It looks like we got an extension. It's a Husky, so it looks like a little 4 or 5 inch extension that we have there. So that's kind of neat. Let's see here. Probably we're looking at this one, and it is a fleet. So we got a couple fleets so far. All right, now we're getting into a couple deep wells, and so as we get going, I think it's this way. So this looks like a no proto, maybe. If I'm thinking correctly, if I'm reading that right. So it looks like a proto 15/16. So we have that. And then this one here, let's see here, you can read that. And so it's in Destro. So it's a 7/8 inch. So we have that. And then this one here is an old Craftsman. And so double line V. You can always add that to the collection on our Craftsman stuff. We have quite a collection there. And this one is a Giller though. So we got one deep well Giller. And then we have, let's see here, what this one is a Westcraft. So Westcraft 11/16. So I don't really do a lot of Westcraft, but nevertheless, we have that there. So that's kind of cool. Let's see here, we have another double line V Craftsman. And then over here, we have another double line V Craftsman. So we got, I think, 3 of those if my count is right. And so, we got this. We got a Wizard. We love that, right? 13/16. So that's cool. So we have that in the collection now. And then this one's pretty tough. I don't know if we're going to do anything with this one because there's a lot of rust going on here. In fact, this is just Taiwan. So that'll actually save me some time, not even having to try to clean that up. All right. And then because that's one that we don't collect here. So we got a single line V Craftsman probably. Yep, single line V Craftsman, so a little 6-inch extension. So that's cool. And then you can see we got some sockets back here. Now these were deep and shallow. These are all going to be the shallow, but this is a Giller. And incidentally, this Giller goes up to 1.25 inches. So some of these may be out of place, out of order. We'll see. So this is another Giller, 1.1/16. And so we'll look at this one, and it's a Giller, and so the Giller 1 1/8. And so we'll probably switch these around, put that there like that. And then as we get going, another Giller. So this looks like a 1 5/16. Does that sound right? Or maybe just 15. It's just 15/16. And so we have that there. Now this one's different, but it's another wizard. Hey, we love that, right? So we don't mind that. I'm gonna put that wizard down here. And so this one here is an SK, and so the SK 7/8 inch. So we'll put that here. Let's see here. This one's pretty gone here. From the double lines and the V, it's an old Craftsman. I don't know how well that'll clean up, but anyways, that'll be there. And then this is another Giller, and so 7/8. So we have that. And then this one here is another Giller, and so 13/16. So put that there. This one is a Giller as well, and so let's see, 25/32. So we have that. A little bit different style or model probably. That one stands out just a little bit more. But another Giller. Let's see here, another Giller. Yep. So we got, I need to take some of the Giller over here and put it in there to see what kind of set we have. So we got another Giller. This one I can probably tell you is not a Giller, just from the look of it. Now this is an SK Wayne socket, and so I do have some of those that we're building up a set on, so that'll add to that collection. So this one here is an old Husky with the knurling down at the bottom. I'll put that right there. And then as we get going, this is another Giller here. And so, so we have that. And so I forget, let me look at these again just to make sure. These are Fleet and Wizard. That's a no name. This is a Giller here, so I'll slide that right in here probably. So this is a Giller, so we'll probably put that maybe right in here. So some of these were just out of order. And so this is another Giller, so this is a 1 1/8. So we'll probably put this right over here. And so let's see what these other two are. What did I say this one was? Oh, Fleet. So we have the Fleet. And then this one was the Hinsdale, I believe. And these are not Giller. And then one more. Let's see here. So another Giller. All right, so we have that. And then we have these two pieces here that are both Giller as well. All right, so we got at least a socket set that's going on here. So we like that a lot. And so I don't know exactly where to put everything, but we're going to try to kind of massage it in here. And so this is what we have. So we're just going to leave that right there. So that's what we got for $30. And so now part of the reason why I did it is because they didn't have a complete set that way. There was a bunch of other miscellaneous stuff, but mainly to me, I wanted this Ward's Master quality ratchet, so to add to my collection. And then I wanted this new Britain ratchet. And I am just in love with these old ratchet styles here like this. But anyways, that's our $30 package that we have here. So you tell me, how did we do? Did we do okay? Oh, and don't forget our plum. We got our plum. That was a nice find. And so how did we do here? So make sure you put that into the comments as well and tell us how we did. All right, so while I was there, part two. While I was there and I was looking at this, I said, yeah, you know what? I don't have these. I already made the trip. Let me go ahead and just take it off your hands. Thank you very much for knocking a little bit more off the price. So we did. Now, from there, I said, hey, while I'm here, you know, do you have anything else that can make my trip worthwhile? You know, anything else you want to get rid of? And he says, you know what? I might. Let's go look in the shed. And I said, hey, cool. Let's go look in the shed. And so we went through and started pulling out bags and boxes, and he had just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. Let me get this put away, and I'll be right back, and I'll show you what we came up with, okay? All right, I'll be right back here. Okay, we are back. So let me go through and start pulling things out of this bag that I put them in. And we're just no particular order, just pulling stuff out at random. One of the very first things he brought out was this aluminum pipe wrench. And so I have pipe wrenches. I don't need pipe wrenches, but it was aluminum, and I was going to make this guy a deal. So we went through and I just start pulling stuff out. He just started pulling out bags. I started nitpicking and pulling stuff out. But look at the jaws on that. Very good condition. It on threads really, really nice. And so that's a nice piece for me. So it's a rigid, and it is a aluminum here. So it's a number 814, and so 14 inch. And so I love that. So that was one that I pulled out. All right, so we got one. I want to tell you the price after we get done here in just a little bit. And so we'll kind of go through and look at that. Now, you know, I'm starting this little bit of a collection on some little box knives. And so this one's kind of had a little bit different shape right in here. And so I thought, man, that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna pick that up, throw it in my pile. He had a little Craftsman nut driver here. And so we can see here, it's a double line Craftsman. And so this is an H and 5 millimeter nut driver, and this one is made in the USA. So we have that there, so like that. I think that was the only nut driver, I believe, that we had there. Speaking of utility knives, check this one out. Man, I scored another wizard. Can you believe that? Man, where do you find these at, except for the fact that they're stuffed in sheds? So this gentleman, man, he was just so awesome to work with. So man, that was another nice find that we had there. So we got another box knife from there. Let's see here. I got another nut driver. Trying to put them in order here. So this little nut driver has this little black handle on it. In fact, I was trying to look here, and I know there's some writing on here. I believe, anyways, that there is. But maybe not. Let's see, what did I say? Oh, there it is. So this was a Stevens. So it's a Stevens made in USA, spin tight. And so 7/16 maybe is what that says there. So it's a little nut driver with this little wooden handle that's black. So I love that. Man, that's killer. So I thought that was a really nice addition that I don't have. So I threw that in there. He had a couple ratchets, it looks like. With this ratchet here that we have, so check this out. It's a Fleet, and so it's a Fleet 1/2 inch, and it has this rubber handle. Now the handle, it does have some cracks in it, but again, you know, I have this little Fleet collection going on, and I do not have this one here in that collection. So it does need some work though. Keep bumping that camera. So sorry. So anyways, so it does need some work that way. But I think I don't have that, and I think I can do that work easy peasy. So that's the Fleet that we had there. The other ratchet that I had picked up here, oh, I remember this one now. It's a Kmart ratchet. And so, my goodness, you know, I got a little bit of Kmart going on, so that's kind of a cool find for me, just because we have just that little oddball department store collection going on there. Let's see here. And then a bunch of wrenches, it looks like. So we'll just start pulling out wrenches left and right, and then we'll get them organized as we get going here. So the very first wrench that is in my hand is a KD, and so USA 7/8 inch. But this thing is pretty doggone clean, 63/328, and so that's cool. So that's one KD that we have, and so we'll put that right there. And then he had, let's see, this is probably a Craftsman. Yeah, Craftsman 13/16, 11/16 double box. And so this is a single line V. So that was kind of a nice piece there. It's real nice and clean, single line V, 3/4 7/8 double box. So that kind of goes right above that because it's going to be a little bit bigger. Man, that's cool, huh? And so he had this one here as well, double box. So Craftsman 11/16 and 13/16, but this is a double V, double line. So that's a little bit different, but nevertheless, it's another double box. He had this Craftsman here for 3/4 inch combination wrench, and this is the flying V. So we have that. So we'll put that right over here since it's a combo wrench. And so this one here is a Craftsman 12 millimeter and 13 millimeter, but it's a line wrench. And so double open wrench, and so double V. So we have that. So that's a different type of wrench as well. Let's see what else we have here. Again, I'm just grabbing wrenches out of here, so we'll just see what we come up with here. Because like I said, in this shed, it was just a matter of a bunch of miscellaneous stuff that he had going on there. There's another combo wrench, 7/8 inch, and so you know, the condition is pretty good. A little bit of cleaning and away we go. So that's a single line V. Here's another combo, or excuse me, another double box, 12 millimeter, 14 millimeter. And so as we get going, single line V. So it doesn't quite go with that set, but nevertheless, it's there. And so what was this one here? Oh, it's a Matco. So this is a double box Matco, 3/8 inch and then 7/8 inch. And so needs a little bit of cleaning there. And I think, yeah, this one had a little bit of owner's marks. That might polish out though. So that's a Matco, so that's a little bit different. So we'll put that there. So this one here is a Craftsman, and so double open. And so this one here is a Flying V. So we'll put that right over here. And then we had a snap-on he had in there. So I grabbed the snap-on, 14 millimeter. So 6-point at that. So most of the snap-on, or most of the wrenches you see are in 12-point, but this is a 6-point snap-on. So I love that. Man, that's killer, right? And so we got one snap-on so far, one Matco. Let's see, more wrenches. Let's see if I can grab all the wrenches first and see what we have. All right, here we go. So had this combination, or excuse me, this double box in ratcheting wrench here. So it's a Craftsman. And now, you know, probably a lot of people don't use these, but since I have a little bit of a Craftsman collection going on, I thought, well, hey, let me grab that. And this one has a little bit of an offset, and it does have the forward reverse on the side here. So that's kind of neat. So I have some of those. I don't know if I have the offset one or not. Let's see what this one is here. So as we're going through and looking at this, oh, it's an old Mac. And so you can see it's a Mac B55 double box that we have there. And so I think the size 9/16 and ½ inch. So it's an old Mac. So it's another brand that we have there. Now this one here, I threw in the pile. I don't even remember what it was. Oh, it's an old Industro Super. And so double open end. So that's kind of cool. So that's what I'm saying. This guy just had a bunch of miscellaneous tools in here. So here's another snap-on, 1/4 inch and 5/16. So it's a double box offset that we have there. And so, man, how killer is that, right? So, man, so I love that. And then as we're going through, we have another snap-on. And so 3/8 inch, 7/16 ratcheting. So double box ratcheting wrench there. So add that over here to the snap-on area. So this one here was a Craftsman, and so this was an 8 millimeter combination wrench. So put that right over here. And then this one here, let's see what it is. Oh, it's a Pennins. And so this Pennins combination wrench here, and I think it's a ½ inch if I'm not mistaken. And so we have that. So that's even another brand yet, right? So there's that. We're not done. We're almost done. Oh, I missed a wrench. So let's grab this. So that other wrench that I missed was another snap-on. So 9/16, ½ inch. And so, man, so we got that. So now we got 3 snap-ons in our pile over here, 2 ratcheting wrenches that we have. And incidentally, this was a, is this one I just pulled out? I think it was. Yeah, and so this is a 6-point versus, you can tell this one over here, this snap-on was a 12-point. So that's a little bit different there. So so there's that. Man, check this out. So a pair of slip joint pliers, or actually it's not even a slip joint, it's just a pair of pliers. And so cutest little thing in the world. Man, look at that. And so I don't know if it has a brand. I just thought it was cute, so I threw it in the pile. And so it does say something though. What does it say? I can't read it. Maybe you can read it on camera. I'll try to read it and try to put it in the description, hopefully. All right, so we have that. So that was kind of cute. because you know I collect some pliers just because they're kind of neat looking. Let's go through and look at some of these sockets that we have going on here. Oh, got one more wrench, it looks like, at the bottom of the pile here. So it's a little ignition wrench probably. So a little Craftsman 5/32. And so that was there, so we'll throw that right over here. So we have some sockets that I threw in there, I don't know why. I got enough sockets, double V. So we put that right there. We got this adapter, 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch. And so it's a Craftsman, but man, it's in great condition. And so love that. And so as we get going and look at this, put that there. So it doesn't say USA, so it may not be a USA one there, but nevertheless, we have that. All right, got a few more sockets and a few more from there. So we got another metric, but this is a deep well, and this is the G1, and so 20 millimeter. So that's a find there. And then this one here ended up being a Kmart. So we had a Kmart that was in there. And so this one here is a Kmart. Man, that kind of, didn't we find, oh, right here, the ratchet is right there. So that's a Kmart, goes right along with that. Here's another Kmart. And so what's the guy doing with all this Kmart over there in his pile? So, and so let's look at this one here. So we're looking at this one, another Kmart. So that's cool. Then we have this one here. And probably no name, maybe. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't see that, so we're going to throw that right over here. And then, I don't know how that got in the pile, but it did nevertheless. So we got another Kmart right over here. And then this one here, another Kmart, so put that there. And then this one here looks like it has some different adapters that are all connected up together. So this is a Craftsman, and so it's a V series, and so we have that there. So this is a 1/2 inch, a 3/8 to 1/2 inch. So we'll put that right over here in the Craftsman area. Let's see here if I can get this one apart. So this is another Craftsman. This is an H though, and so it's a USA. So put that there. Then this one here was probably another Craftsman, metric though, G1 series, as you can see there. And so this one here is the 8 or 19, I think it is, 19 millimeter. So we have that. All right, only got a few more things and then we're done, fine friends. And so let's look at these and see what we have. So this one here, as I go through and look at it, this is a deep well, and this is an Industro Super, and so 6-point that we have here. So now that one's pretty grimy inside there. So we're going to need to really clean that bad boy up, but that's kind of different. So we have that, and then as we get going, let's see here, we have this extension, and it is a snap-on at that. Can you believe that? So snap-on extension that we have here. So we love that. Put that over here in the snap-on section. Scoot over, guys. We're coming in. There you go. All right. And then we had this little crow's foot that we had here, and it was a little SK. And so we'll put that just right there. And then this one here was our last one that we have. Oh, and it's part of the Kmart series. All right, so we got that. Then I think we got 3 more items. Yeah, I think the bag is completely empty after this. And so as we get looking at this, there was an extension in there, and this extension was a Kmart extension. So how cool is that? Another Kmart, man. And so we got this one here, which looks like a little 5-inch or so. Probably about 4.5, 5 inches. So it's a little action. I do have a little action collection going on. So now this is a 1/2 inch size. So that's cool. So we'll put that right back here. And then the last thing that we had here, just at random, was a little SK ratchet tools, SK tools. And so works good there. See if we can flip it around. Works good there. So there you go. Now, what did we do for this? Well, so the guy went through and he gave me that other bundle for $30, which I paid up for it a little bit, but you know, some items that I needed and wanted, and so I thought, well, okay, we're good. But anyways, as we came through over here and looked at all of this, now it's a bunch of miscellaneous stuff, but it's miscellaneous stuff that I have. And get this, I paid 20 bucks. So I offered him $20 and he said, yep, let's do it. And man, I gotta tell you, I think I came out like a winner. I mean, how much is that thing? How much is that aluminum pipe wrench whenever you go buy it at the store? How much is a snap-on, even an extension cost, let alone a wrench or any of these combination ratcheting wrenches or any of the pieces? You know, done quite, and some of these doesn't quite equate to $20, but some of these I can definitely get. I see my value, my money well spent on just one single piece. And then just the added value of the other stuff. So anyways, I got this for $20. I got the other part for $30. What do you think? Do you think I got a deal? Didn't get a deal? I should have walked away? What are your thoughts? All right, there you go. I'm going to turn the camera around. Let's see what we have. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Can you believe it? Wow, what do you think about that? Man, we responded to a Facebook Marketplace ad and it wasn't quite what we wanted when we first showed up, but I think the end result was awesome. You know, I made another contact, gave him my number, and so if he runs across more deals like that, and incidentally, why he has such a miscellaneous amount of tools that way is that where he works, people are all the time changing out or quitting jobs, and they just give him tools as they're migrating through life. And so he just had just bags and stuff in there. So he runs through a collection like that all the time. So anyways, I thought that was cool. So that's why I left my number, because you never know, he may come across some more Snap-on or some of these other awesome brands that we discovered here today. But what was your favorite? You know what? I think for me, oh my goodness, I got to tell you, I don't have this New Britain, this old style ratchet here. I don't have that in my collection, so I love that. And then of course the Ward's Master Quality. Let's see if I got it upside down right. So this way, and so this Ward's Master Quality ratchet. Man, I love that, love it. Because remember, my very first job, Montgomery Ward's, it takes me right back to there. So so I like that. But anyways, those are my two favorite. And so, but you put down in the comments what you think. And then also, did we get a good deal or did we not? So we'd really appreciate that. But you know what I learned throughout this whole experience? You know what I've learned through my hunting journey that I thought I'd share with you? You just have to talk to people. You just have to ask. And so when I was there, I said, hey, do you have anything else to make my trip worthwhile? That anything else you want to get rid of or want me to look at? And it's just as simple as a question like that. And you never know what's around the corner. Just like we illustrated here. We got Snap-on, we got Matco, we got Craftsman, we got all kinds of goodies that way. And so you just never know, but if you never ask, you'll never get. And so make sure you do that. All right, so there you go. That's our video for today. That's our Marketplace haul for $50. All right, let's kind of go from there. And if you haven't already, please hit that like button. That really makes us it really does wonders for us. It tells YouTube we're making the right kind of content. Make sure you hit subscribe. This kind of fun we have. Just do tool hauls and all kinds of different things. All right, until next time, we'll see you on the next video.